All right, guys, I have another editorial for you. And on this one, it has to do with Colorado First Amendment auditors and voting. I saw the video. From what I saw in the video, I didn't really see a problem. But here, this story, they tried to interpret First Amendment auditing. Now, I'm not sure if Commander Trent Cooper of the Littleton Police Department is talking about these two auditors or if he's talking generally about First Amendment auditors. So I'm going to consider that he's talking about everybody, and I'm going to make some comments throughout. I'm going to interject as I give you this editorial. Well, what are you talking about, dude? This right here. Thank you, Inglewood Herald, for this story. Two men, one armed, who filmed voters dropping off ballots in Littleton, Colorado on November 2nd, were First Amendment auditors and not cited by police, city and county officials said. The men, whose names were not immediately available, drew the attention of county staff as they filmed voters dropping off ballots outside the Arapahoe County Administration Building on South Prince Street, said county spokesperson Luce Hattelstad. One of the men was carrying a holstered handgun and wearing a tactical vest, Hattelstad said. Luce Hattelstad said, quote, "Our staff asked them what was going on, and someone inside the building called the police. Responding officers determined the men were First Amendment auditors, said Commander Trent Cooper of the Littleton Police Department. First Amendment auditors, according to the Colorado Intergovernmental Risk Sharing Agency, or CIRSA, are activists who film encounters with public officials. A CIRSA memo on the phenomenon reads in part, so we're a phenomenon. First Amendment auditors and cop watchers are a phenomenon. Wow. Kind of like lightning, huh? Except we do strike twice in one spot. I don't know. If the encounter results in an actual or perceived violation of the auditor's First Amendment or other protected rights, then the video will likely be posted on social media and or serve as the basis for a claim or lawsuit. A violation may come about if the auditor is denied the right to take photos or videos in a public place or is detained for suspicious activity or other reasons. Commander Trent Cooper said the men appeared to clearly understand the limits of their legal rights, and it's not against the law to open carry guns or film people outside of a government building. Colorado law makes it illegal to impede, prevent, or otherwise interfere with the free exercise of the elective franchise of any elector. Luce Hattelstad said 3 voters came inside the building to report the men outside, but he was not aware of any voters who were intimidated out of dropping off ballots. Police are not aware of the men speaking to any voters or stopping any voters from dropping off their ballots, Trent Cooper said. Commander Trent Cooper said the goal of these guys is to get people to violate their rights. I'll stop right there. Now he says these guys. I don't know if he's talking about those two specifically, but I've heard people say that about the purpose of a First Amendment audit or these auditors is to get people to violate their rights. No, that's not true in every case. In most cases, well, a lot of cases, I don't know if I should say most, let's say my case, I'm going to speak personally. I don't want you to violate my rights. I want you to understand and be educated and go, yeah, you can film in public. Yeah, we have the right to do that. We're free Americans. And if somebody doesn't know that, hey, you have to get my permission to film me in public. Now I can educate them. No, under the First Amendment and in California under Article 1, Section 2 of the California Constitution, I can do this without any type of prohibition. And you can too. Grab your camera and start recording in public. See, it's all about education. If you violate my rights, it's not because I got you to do it. If I put a worm on a hook and a fish bites that, is that my fault or the fish? If you violate my rights because I'm doing a First Amendment audit, is that my fault or your fault? You're the one that came up to me and started going off and, hey, motherfucker, what you filming me for? You know, I didn't ask you to do that. You're over 21 years old. Make your own decisions. And that's what I wanted to point out. It's not the goal to get people to violate our rights. We're just out there filming, dude. You guys are over 21 years old. So Commander Trent Cooper, if you're talking about everybody, you're incorrect, bud. Moving on. The goal of these guys is to get people to violate their rights, Trent Cooper said. This guy's carrying a gun, wearing a tactical gear. He knows that's going to make people uncomfortable. It's an attempt to elicit a confrontation. If nobody takes the bait, eventually they get bored and leave, which is essentially what happened here. So now he's reading the mind of this. He's a mind reader. He knows what they're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. Well, guess what, Trent Cooper? When I'm out there doing a protest and I'm peacefully protesting and I get cops that come up with helmets and pepper ball shotguns and batons raised over their shoulder and telling me back the fuck up and I'm just standing on the sidewalk, you don't think that makes me feel uncomfortable? But you guys don't seem to care. Well, that's when it's an unlawful assembly. No, you're violating my First Amendment right to free press. And we've seen that time and time and time again. Peaceful camera people being pushed back with batons. Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, Chicago. So you're wrong there, bud. But he says the guy's carrying a gun, wearing a tactical gear. He knows that's going to make people uncomfortable. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's just what he wanted to do that in case someone shot at him. It is a freaking election day in 2020. You know, 2020 hasn't been the most peaceful year. Maybe the guy's dressed in case someone freaking tries something. I don't know. You don't either. You're just saying that because that's what you think. That's your opinion. Okay. Hey, you know what? First Amendment, Commander Trent Cooper is allowed to offer his opinion. Moving on. Police did not ask the men to leave, Trent Cooper said, though they eventually left on their own after about an hour. A spokesperson for the Colorado Attorney General, Phil Weiser, said the incident is under investigation. The Colorado Secretary of State's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I believe that's the video that I saw, and I can't remember who did it. I wish I could. You get older, you forget things, but there's a video of some of our First Amendment auditors that they posted. A Secretary of State, I believe it was Colorado, they're investigating if they violated any voting rights. First Amendment auditors have made headlines many times in Colorado in recent years, including for disrupting city council meetings, winning settlements for wrongful detention, and in one instance, allegedly threatening to kill a judge. No, Eric didn't threaten to kill a judge. Eric never threatened to kill a judge. Now, if Eric said, I think yada yada judge, this should happen to him, yada yada, that's not saying he's threatening to kill a judge, saying, you know, he thinks yada yada should happen to this person. And they're saying he threatened to kill this judge. He didn't threaten to kill a judge. Haddelslow said anyone who sees anything suspicious at a ballot drop box or polling place should report it to elections officials on site or call the voter hotline at this phone number right here. And of course, yeah, if you see something suspicious at a ballot drop box or whatever, call the cops because they'll come and they'll shoot the person. I don't know, but I wanted to bring you this editorial because I wanted to talk about it, you know, that they try to interpret what is in the mind of First Amendment auditors, and they have the right to offer an opinion, but when a commander of a police department gives his opinion in that matter, he's actually forming an official report, if I can say that. He's actually saying what we're all about when he's incorrect. He should have said, this could make people uncomfortable. I'm not sure if that's what his intentions were or not. That's the way he should have worded it. See, Trent, you should have said he's wearing tactical gear, carrying a gun. This could make people uncomfortable. I'm not sure if that was his intent or not. No, he says he knows that's going to make people uncomfortable. How do you know what the hell he knows? Objection, Your Honor. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below what you think about what I've said here in this editorial. Sorry I'm so blabby, but I'm very loquacious. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos, that's law enforcement officers, to include voting First Amendment auditors in Colorado from coast to coast.